Long ago, during the era of shoguns in Japan, a time when samurai walked the land and the forest whispered ancient secrets, there existed a creature so cunning, so dangerous, that even the bravest men feared to speak its name. This was the Jorogumo, the entangling bride, a spider that had lived for centuries and gained powers beyond imagination. They say that when a spider lives for 400 years, it grows enormous, large enough to rival a cow, and can take on the form of a beautiful young woman. The Jorōgumo used its beauty and charm to lure unsuspecting travelers, fishermen, and lumberjacks to their doom. Sometimes, it transformed the slayer into an empty inn, a house, or even a shrine, inviting weary souls inside. Other times, it appeared entirely as a lovely woman, sitting by a biwa, plucking its strings and singing songs so sweet that they could make a man forget his home, his family, even himself. Many stories tell of travelers who stumbled upon the Jorogumo, drawn by her voice, her song, and the promise of kindness. Some were invited to eat delicate cakes, sip warm sake, and rest in her company. And all the while, the spider's deadly silk crept closer, waiting to entangle the man's feet, wrapping him in threads from which there was no escape. Only then would the Jorogumo reveal her true form, a massive spider, eyes gleaming, fangs dripping venom, and devour her victim at her leisure. It is said that Jorogumos prefer to live near waterfalls, deep in the mountains, or by quiet lakes where the mist hung heavy in the air. It was in one such place that a lumberjack named Haru would meet the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. Haru had been working in the dense forest, cutting timber, when he noticed her by a waterfall. She was young, radiant, and seemingly alone. She smiled at him, and in that instant, Haru felt a connection so deep it was as if the world had vanished around them. Day after day, he returned to the waterfall, bringing gifts, sharing stories, and basking in the presence of the mysterious lady. And day after day, Haru grew weaker, although he could not understand why. His strength, his energy, seemed to drain away like water slipping through his fingers. One day, a traveling Buddhist monk arrived in the village. He noticed a change in Haru, pale and exhausted, and quickly understood the danger. "You have been ensnared by a Jorogumo. A creature of the forest, cunning and deadly, has bound your spirit and your body to her. If you do not act carefully, she will consume you entirely." Haru, fearful but desperate, agreed to follow the monk to the waterfall. The journey through the forest was tense, silent except for the distant roar of the falls. When they arrived, the beautiful woman was waiting. She smiled at Haru, and in that instant, Haru felt a connection so deep it was as if the world had vanished around them. The monk began to chant from the sutra scriptures, his voice strong and unwavering. At first, nothing seemed to happen, but slowly, spider threads began to appear in the air, reaching for Haru, trying to pull him into the waterfall. They shimmered in the sunlight, delicate yet strong, and Haru could feel the deadly pull of the Jorogumo's magic. The monk's chanting grew louder, steadier until the threads trembled, and then vanished, dissolving into the mist. The Jorogumo shrieked in frustration, her beautiful form flickering, revealing glimpses of the monstrous spider beneath. Haru had been saved, for now. But the danger was not over. Haru's fascination with the Jorogumo had not faded. He could not stop thinking of her, could not forget the beauty that had first drawn him in. He sought counsel once more, this time from a Tengu, a high-ranking yokai known for wisdom and judgment. The Tengu listened to Haru's plea, to continue his love, to be with the Jorogumo despite her danger. But the Tengu's wings shuddered and its voice rumbled like distant thunder. "No mortal may love a creature such as she," it warned. "Her nature is not of this world. To remain with her is to invite death, walk away, or be lost forever." Haru, heartbroken, torn between his mortal life and the enchantment of the waterfall, he wandered the village in a daze. No food could satisfy him, no work could distract him, and no words could erase the memory of the woman he loved. Days turned to nights, and nights to days, until finally he returned to the waterfall, unable to live without her. He stood at the edge of the lake, the mist curling around his feet, and called out her name. The Jorogumo appeared, but did not rush to him. Her kimono shone with the uncanny light of the moon, and her slow, gentle smile was the most beautiful, terrifying thing he had ever seen. Haru smiled back. It was not a smile of joy, but of a terrible, liberating relief, the smile of a man who finally accepts his fate. He knew with absolute clarity he was utterly lost, yet he felt, paradoxically, finally found. Without hesitation, Haru leapt into the waters, surrendering himself to love and to death. The water swallowed him instantly, pulling him down into its silent, murky heart. The surface churned for a brief, frantic moment, a final, tiny protest against the inevitable, then settled back into an unnerving, mirror-like stillness. The Jorogumo watched the last of the ripples fade, her expression softening for a flicker, perhaps a final acknowledgement of his complete mortal devotion. Then her beautiful form began to dissipate, dissolving back into the swirling mist and shadows of the deep forest, leaving no mark upon the air. To this day, the villagers whisper about the Jorogumo. They say that if you wander near waterfalls or lakes in the old forest, you may hear a woman singing, soft and sweet. Some claim to have seen a house that seems alive, as if waiting for someone to enter. And they say that if a man is foolish or reckless enough, he may disappear, caught by the silk of the Jorogumo, whose beauty hides a deadly hunger. And so the legend of the Jorogumo lives on, a warning, a story, and a shadow in the forests, singing to those who dare listen, waiting for the next traveler to wander too close to the waterfall. Thank you for wandering with me through another forgotten tale. If you enjoyed uncovering the myths that rarely see the light, remember to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the next story waiting in the shadows. Share this with someone who loves the strange, the ancient, and the untold. And if you have a legend you want me to explore, leave it in the comments below. Your suggestion might shape the next journey. Until our paths cross again, may the echoes of the old world guide your steps.